We're live. There we go. Greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods, and today, people, I tell you what, there is a heat wave. There's a heat wave out there that is just, it's just drowning Bear in sweat. I tell you what, Bear is anticipating the fall earlier than normal out there. I blame all you humans out there for the global warming pandemic. In addition to the actual pandemic out there, we have a global warming pandemic out there. And I tell you what, it's all those SUVs out there that people are driving. So stop driving your SUVs. Help out Bear. Cool it down. Just a little bit here. All right, well, I tell you what, people, we do not have time for either gibber nor jabber out there. We actually have some very interesting campaign updates, but before we get to that, we're going to do a little bit of news around the world. So let Bear get his bearings, as it were. Here, let me find where I am at here. 1 second, people. One of these days, we will do a professional show out here. I do promise that to you people. It's not going to be today, though, unfortunately. So, all right, let's go ahead and get right on into it here. Let me find the thing with the thing. You know, you're supposed to do it with, like, hotkeys. You're supposed to just, like, tap, 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 and it, like, just all works for you. Bear doesn't do that, mainly because of the claws that he has. A little bit hard typing out there. All right, from the Sun UK, as it were, Guerrilla Warfare, yes indeed, by Anthony Blair. Anthony Blair. A Narco Monkey in a custom-made bulletproof vest was found dead after a bloody cartel shootout. The pet monkey of a drug gang member dressed up in a bulletproof vest and camouflage jacket has been killed in a bloody shootout, which left 11 other cartel members dead. Its owner, a young man in his 20s, said to be in Mexico's notorious La Familia Michoacana. Michoacana. I apologize, people. Bear is not fluent in the Espanol out there. Hardly fluent in English. He's a bear, for crying out loud. Let's see. Was found dead from several gunshot wounds, with the monkey lying on his chest. Stunned police came across the bizarre and gruesome scene following a firefight between authorities and cartel members in the town of Titocalan. How do you pronounce that? Texacaltitlan. Titlan, yes indeed, in central Mexico, just over 60 miles southwest of the capital of Mexico City. The small spider monkey, I hope he didn't have monkeypox, by the way, was found with his arms outstretched as if holding his owner, who was carrying him by the shoulders. He was wearing a bulletproof vest, a khaki hoodie jacket, and a nappy. The shooting took place when members of the Attorney General's office of the state of Mexico and members of the National Guard fought with armed members of La Familia Michoacana. Yes, indeed. So there you are. Let's see. The Mexico Daily Post reported that 10 men were killed at the scene, while another died at the hospital, and a further 10 were detained. 3 of them remain under medical observation after being injured in the gunfight. Info Bay reports that 5 of those detained are men and 3 women, while another is a minor under 15 years of age, and also a monkey. Another adult was also hospitalized, but no details have been given about them. Yes, indeed. So there you are. There is your narco monkey out there. I tell you what, people, they are going to be taking over the world. Forget about all this. You think that the monkeypox is going to do them in, and then you find out, they've got bulletproof vest, for crying out loud. Bear doesn't even have a bulletproof vest. I tell you what, people, we either need to give bears bulletproof vest, or we just need to get rid of that pesky Second Amendment out there. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Again, the Sun and Anthony Blair out there. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you very much. Continuing on with the news out of England. I tell you what, all of the great news out of England there. A male blood donor, that is very important here, people. A male M-A-L-E, male. A male blood donor, 66, was turned away from a clinic after he refused to answer a question on whether he was pregnant as part of a pre-donation questionnaire. And that would be from the Daily Mail UK and Graham Grant. Graham Grant out there. Over nearly 50 years, Leslie Slint. You can tell it's an English guy by the name Leslie, I tell you what. The only good Leslie out there was Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Sinclair has been given a formidable 125 pints of blood. I'm sure that's quite a bit. But on his last trip, he was turned away after refusing to answer a question on whether or not he was pregnant. Well, it doesn't look like he's very pregnant that much. Mr. Sinclair was told to fill out a form. By the way, he's 66, so even if he was a birthing person out there, I think that's a little too much past your prime there. Was told to fill out a form which asked whether he was expecting a child or had been pregnant in the past 6 months. When he complained that as a man in his 60s, this question did not apply, and he should not have to answer it, Mr. Sinclair, it could be Miss Sinclair, you never know, said that staff at the clinic told him that they could not accept his blood. I'm sorry, sir. We need to figure out whether or not you're pregnant or not. Whether or not you have monkeypox, that is of no interest to us. But if you, sir, are pregnant out there, we need to know. We need to know. There you go. He's got that out there. Have you been pregnant in the past 6 months? Yes, indeed. The standoff took place as NHS England launched a campaign earlier this week to recruit 1 million more blood donors over the next 5 years after numbers fell during the pandemic. Gee, I wonder why. The Scottish National Blood Transfusion Service, or SNBTS, began a drive earlier this month to find 16,000 new donors in the coming year. It emerged last night that all potential donors are asked if they are pregnant to promote inclusiveness and because pregnancy is, quote, not always visually clear, especially if you have a beard or a mustache. Angry at the refusal to take his blood, Mr. Sinclair almost did walk away last night, told of his frustration at the nonsensical decision. The father of two, he must have been pregnant at some point, from Stirling in central Scotland said, I'm angry because I have been giving blood since I was 18 and have regularly gone along. Well, that's your problem right there. I'm very happy to do so without any problem, except for one case when you're asked whether or not you're pregnant there. So, no, that's probably more of a dad bod there. That's more of a dad bod than a pregnant man out there. Although they do have a pregnant man emoji out there, so that's kind of interesting, kind of strange, but interesting out there. Yes, indeed. All right, so there we go. There is from the Daily Mail, and once again, what a name, Graham Grant. Hi, who are you? I'm Graham Grant. Ooh, okay. There you go. Very cool. Very cool indeed. All right, moving right along. I tell you what, people, we are just plowing right through it here. Let's see. It is from The Drive and James Gilboy out there. Hong Kong's famous giant floating restaurant sinks in the South China Sea. Oh, there we go. There is the giant restaurant that sank into the ocean there. Jumbo Kingdom, one of Hong Kong's most visible tourist attractions, sank on Sunday during an attempt to relocate it, according to ABC. Before its main voyage, the main dining structure was reportedly inspected by marine engineers and received pertinent approvals. Prior to the structure's departure last Thursday, the Associated Kitchen ship developed a significant list or tilt while in the harbor, according to the Straits Times. Well, it wasn't that straight, was it? The kitchen thus remained in the harbor. I tell you what, people, when you want to sound classy, you got to use the word thus in there. Oh man, he knows what he's talking about. The kitchen thus remained in the harbor while the dining area was taken out to sea. Following the departure last Thursday, the restaurant, I guess it could be an island, the restaurant reportedly encountered adverse conditions while passing the Jingzhe Islands. On Saturday, Jumbo Kingdom began to list, or tilt as they say, as water entered the structure. It's a bad thing when water enters your boat. Despite attempts to save the vessel, it reportedly capsized Sunday in over 3,000 feet of water. No injuries have been reported. Opened in 1976, the approximately 250-foot, I guess long. I was like, man, 250 square feet, that's pretty small. The approximately 250-foot, I guess, long restaurant became an icon of Hong Kong, appearing in film and serving Cantonese food to over 30 million people over the... That's actually pretty small. I would have figured it would have been a lot more. Over the years, included world leaders and celebrities such as Tom Cruise, little Tom Cruise out there, having reportedly sustained annual losses since 2013. Holy cow. Jumbo Kingdom closed in early 2020 in response to the outbreak of the Wu flu. Thanks a lot, China. Laying off all of its staff. The ownership, Aberdeen Restaurant Enterprises, reportedly maintained the facility, staying up to date with inspections, but the cost of maintenance appeared to be too great, and Aberdeen elected to relocate the restaurant. Its intended destination, was not publicly known. Aberdeen reportedly stated that it awaits details on the restaurant sinking from the towing company and that salvage will be difficult due to the depth of 3,000 feet where the Jumbo Kingdom sank. So, if you want some fried shrimp or something like that, you just gotta dive down about 3,000 feet and recover a restaurant down there at the bottom. You kind of wonder if it had annual losses since 2013 there, that maybe they weren't that sad to see it go. Oh gosh, it sank. Oh, how terrible of that. Let me call my insurance company right away. Yeah. that kind of sounds a little bit like that. If recovery isn't worth the while, though, the restaurant could serve, at least as a backdrop, to a parody disaster film. A Titanic meets Castle Bonita, anyone? Oh, what a chuckle fest there. James Gilboy there from The Drive. Yes, indeed, from The Drive. All right, let me get back to the... Oops, that's not it. Where am I at? Come on, bear. Come on, bear. I tell you what, one of these days, people, one of these days, we will actually do a professional show. Yes, indeed. All right, let me, grab a drink here. Because we actually have, if Bear can find it here, where is he going? Oh, just imagine some great stuff out there. There we go, there it is. We're going, that's Wraith of God. Let me find let me find what we're actually going to be talking about. I saw Aaron had a live stream here. We didn't get a chance to check it out there, but it looks like he's still waiting on the printer out there. So hopefully, as it says here, it's coming soon. Yes, indeed. All right, so let's get past that and get right on into it here because I tell you what, people, one of the ones that kind of surprised Bear out there ended up getting, I think it was the fall campaign from last year of Alterna Comics. I just wanted to check it out and see what it was all about and everything. Turned out to be really good. A lot of value in the campaign out there, in addition to some great books as well. So very much on the lookout for any new Alterna stuff out there, because it seems to be delivering the value and also the entertainment out there. So he says, comics on Wednesday. Yes, indeed. Comics are arriving here. I think he's talking about the winter campaign. On Wednesday, that would be today, right? Today? Yeah, today, of course. The 22nd, and we'll start shipping out Thursday on the 23rd. So there you go. A very quick turnaround. So hopefully within the next week or so, Bear can maybe do another box open. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna do that live or maybe. I think maybe just kind of do a separate video on that. If Bear can get all his stuff taken care of here, a whole other topic here. So he says the summer campaign launched I should say launched on June 21st at 8 p.m. So do check that out. Very cool. Let's see. They've got a sort of a special deal that's going on. I think it was like 70, 75 bucks or something like that. You get all the books that come along with it. They do a great deal, by the way. All the books are like $1 or $2 or something like that. So very good value there. But I think for 75 you get basically everything in the campaign plus a number of special extras that they're including in there. Also with some I believe some sketches as well. You could pick your artist there. Let's see, Clint Stoker was one. I think Pete Cimetti was another one. Some of the other different artists out there, Bear can't remember quite what some of the artists were out there, but yeah, you could do a sketch card, and also I think they had a 16 by 9 print as well. So a very good value out there. So very cool indeed. P Money says, "Oh, what's this?" Actually, by the way, let me P Money as you remind Bear here. Oh shoot, I've got it on the other. For crying out loud, I got it on the other scene. OBS, I tell you what. But we actually, I can do the chat now, but I got to go to the other scene. I forgot to put it into the campaign update scene. So there you go. Good old OBS. All right, let's see. What is this sports game I see on your thumbnail? I have no idea what it is. Well, you never know. You never know. Actually, Bear has been doing some of his quotes of how to win out there for the past couple of episodes there. So coming from Bobby the Chief Taylor out there, giving some great advice. You got to protect your goalie. Yes, indeed. You got to send it tape to tape, and you got to take it to the net. So that has been the theme for the past couple days here. All right. Anyways, enough of that. I've got the thumbnail, but I'm not really talking about the hockey. But we can after this. King Cryptid is just $79 away from 23K. With it says 5 days left. I think it's only 3 days left, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 3 days left. On the first 30 days. A few perks will be coming down when the first 30 ends, so make sure to grab them before they're gone. So definitely, Bear has not checked out the King Cryptid campaign there, but some good stuff, and always check out the Alterna comics. Like I said, they are a very quick turnaround, and also I don't want to say cheap. It's not like you're not getting your value for your money or anything like that. But he keeps the prices low, which is really good. I like how he did that. Let's see. Funny story. P Money says, Ruth has a book club with a few other Canadians. Every month, each member recommends a book for the group to read. One of them this month said Eternity by Nasser. And Ruth went, huh? I'm assuming that's a huh or shocked face. Shocked face. She was shocked other Canadians even know who Nasser is. Hashtag kick Nasser. Yes, indeed. So very cool. That's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if some of the Comicsgate stuff is leaking out there. That'd be interesting. Very cool. All right, let me get to where am I? Come on, Bear. Let's do this. Let's do this thing, man. I'm gonna do this thing right. All right, let me do the thing with the thing, and then you do the thing, and then you do the thing. There we go. We've got a sort of request out there. Maybe I don't want to say a cry for help out there, but Gary sure could use your help out there with the Titan campaign. He says help make it happen for Titan House of Might in full color, inspired by the great comics like Batman, Daredevil, Bone, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and even, by the way, Bear actually found his Calvin and Hobbes collection the other day, so might want to bring that onto the stream and talk a little bit about that. That was a interesting find there. Several books, so very cool. One of Bear's favorite comics out there, comic strip, I should say. There you go. This is, I believe it is for a Kickstarter campaign. So if you're on the Kickstarter out there, go check out Gary out there. Bear it's not a boycott or anything of Kickstarter, but Beer doesn't do the Kickstarter mainly because some of the shenanigans that went on there in the past, and just generally not trusting the Kickstarter staff out there. I think Indiegogo has pretty well proven themselves over the past couple of years here of being pretty solid out there for the people. So sticking with Indiegogo, although Bear actually had a question about that because Gary was putting out this same thing, I think, on Indiegogo. I'm not sure about the Package Land, but I believe it was book 1 and 2 of Titan in color. It didn't look like that it got fulfilled. The campaign was closed. So Bear was kind of wondering what's happened with some of the books there. Bear will try and ask Gary next time he's on the live stream there. Although Gary does, Bear will be doing something, and then we'll log on to YouTube or something like that, and it'll be like, Gary just streamed 10 minutes ago or something like that. It's like, oh gosh darn it, Gary. So I haven't had a chance to ask that, but just yet. But there you go. Please check out Gary. In addition to his Titan, I tell you what, getting scammed out of all the NFT stuff out there. Just hasn't been a good go of it here lately. So do help out. Please help out Gary out there. All right, let me find the next one here for you good people. And there we are. Let me do the thing with the thing. Get that out of the way. So Bear can see. Let's see. A very interesting book here from Clint Stoker. Some of you might know him as Sweetcast out there. Very interesting. He came from a era, I guess you should say, descended. He's a descendant of the actual Stoker author out there that created the first Dracula book. So very interesting. He's kind of doing a reimagining, but well within the Stoker clan there. So very cool. Very kind of an interesting book. Beer's kind of interested to check out here. He says only 13 days left. 13 days left. Good news. I talked to the printer and everything seems to be on schedule. That's great because, you know, a lot of times, sometimes the printer, where you've got paper shortages or issues, sometimes some of that stuff just doesn't work out the way that you planned it. So very good. That is Beer would say great news out there. This campaign is already successful, but with 13 days left, I think we can extend our reach. We have about $1,500 to go in order to get the 18K stretch goal, and he's looking for a nice 20K stretch goal beyond that. Thank you for all your support. For sure, Clint. I would not be able to make, but I thought that said boobs for a second. I will not be able to make books like this without you, or boobs, either or. Thanks, Clint. So there you go. P-Money says, I'll be honest. Well, you don't have to be honest, P-Money. Let's see. I'll be honest, I find Clint Stoker hit or miss, but I'm excited to back this one. Yeah, the Downcast book was fine. I thought Bear came into it late, so he only read the third one, so it didn't make a whole lot of sense for Bear, but was able to pick it up just a little bit there. It's fine. You know, he's coming into his own. We'll talk about that in just a second, but coming into his own as a writer there. So, you know, sometimes you gotta kind of go over those stumbling blocks before you finally kind of understand what you're doing out there. You know, you never want to make it, you know, hugely public, you know, all your failures. I want to say failures, but shortcomings, as it were. Maybe as a writer, hey, even as a YouTuber out there, a Beer will say that from experience. So, you know, you don't want to fail publicly, but sometimes, again, I'm not trying to say that it's a failure or anything like that, but as P-Money says, kind of hit or miss sometimes. So, you know, sometimes that takes a little bit to kind of work its way out. We'll talk about Narwhal here in just a second. A lot of people don't, I want to say don't like, but they're not really keen on Narwhal's art. Beer kind of looks at it as a very fluid sort of animation style, something or another. So, you know, some people like it, some people don't. So I think he is coming out better as an artist, and I think Clint is doing better as a writer here as well. So yeah, Bear is with P-Money here. more excited just to kind of have it as a kind of an interesting thing where, Bram Stoker, his Dracula, and kind of a descendant of his. I think that's just an interesting way of going about it. Pretty cool, pretty neat. All right, let me do the thing with the thing here and find the thing here. Talk amongst your shells. Talk amongst your shells, because I did want to comment on Narwhal here. Let me find it here. Do the thing with the thing. Let's see. This is from the foreign agent thing, but we'll get to the other one here in just a second. He's got a new campaign mailing list. Hello, readers and enjoyers of Foreign Agent. Very good book. My next campaign launches in August, and the mailing list is up now, and you can sign up for a discounted price on day one. It's a huge collection of short stories and one-shots. Each story is swinging for their fences in their own way. A crazy, just insane 240 pages of content in total, and he gives the link down there. So he says, thanks. So thank you, Narwhal. Thank you very much. So let me do, because he's got a little bit more detail here. Let me get to it here. Do the thing with the thing. There we go. There we are. Let me cry out loud 1 second here, people. It gets a little bit cluttered sometimes. Just a little bit. There we go. There we are. Let's see. P-Money says, I thought my wife knew everyone on Comicsgate, but she just said, you guys have a narwhal drawing books. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Very cool. All sorts of critters and creatures out there. Let's see. AKA Per Berg out there. It says, hello all. Nesferatu. Beer wasn't able to check out this campaign in time. Unfortunately, Narwhal, I think he just had it up for 30 days or something like that. Went to go check it out, and the campaign was closed. So, I would have liked to put Nosferatu up. We sometimes do kind of a head-to-head. It would have been great to do a Nosferatu, whatever, versus Dracula. Kind of a Narwhal versus Clint Stoker out there. Would have been neat. Let's see. The mailing list for my new campaign, a massive collection of short stories and one-shots, is live for a launch in August, and he gives the link, what we just talked about there. There are quattro Earthbound-related short stories out there in the collection. Bear actually found the Earthbound very good, very good. Unfortunately, it slightly, just ever so slightly lost out to Tatia out there with Matthew Weldon. But yeah, very good books, Earthbound 1 and 2. So he's got 4 of them. Holy cow. I thought the whole thing was done, but no, it's not. All right, let me go drink here. There we go. Let's see, and I wrote Earthbound 3 and 4. I thought it was done, but there we go. The big, grand, epic, Grand Prix adventure that part 1 and 2 hint at. It kind of got lost in a lot of the lore there. I think Earthbound would have been a little bit better if it kind of set aside the whole Grand Prix stuff and just kind of did it as a sort of alien in high school. I think that's a really great concept there. Unfortunately, it got a little complicated. It turned out really good, but it was a very complicated, dense book, especially at the very beginning there. It took a little bit to get into and kind of figure out there. So, anyways, parts 1 and 2 for his big, epic Grand Prix adventure. That script, holy cow, people, is 150 pages unformatted. I'm not sure what unformatted means in this context. I don't know if maybe he might have written it in some sort of like a Word document of some kind, and is going to bring it into a script format or something like that. So if it's unformatted, I don't know what the page count would be on that. He says as a comic it would be 300 pages. They're trying to figure out, since he's talking about making it as a animated film here, trying to figure out 150 pages unformatted. Basically, you figure Script-wise, it can be more, it can be less a little bit, but usually about a page is a minute. So if we were taking that same concept there, 150 minutes, which would be quite a little bit over what a normal movie would be there. I mean, you could pull that off. Maybe if you're doing the Batman or something like that. Terrible movie. Maybe you can get away with it there. Unformatted might mean it might be a little bit longer there. So we'll get let Bear get through this and he'll come back to that. So let's see. As a comic, it would be 300 pages, longer than parts 1 and 2 combined. If it was a movie, it would be 2.5 hours long. I would probably say it would be probably closer to 3, probably, but we'll see. My plan is to do it as an animated film instead of a comic. Oh my goodness. Which is kind of ambitious and crazy. I would say it would be crazy. And ambitious, but mostly crazy. But I've already got it to start, and it's turning out pretty good. I started a Patreon just as an option if anybody wants to support the Earthbound Animation project in the meantime, but there will eventually be a big Indiegogo campaign with a making of book and DVD case with a cool booklet, etc. Probably in a year or so, so still a ways off. I would say it's probably quite a ways off. He gives his Patreon link. Check that out. And he did some sample animation there. It was, again, one, if you like or dislike Narwhal's art, number one. And number two, it was kind of a rough animation to begin with there. So I do check that out. It was very, very kind of interesting there. Let me get to this real quick. My wife, I'm assuming my wife and I have argued about the old Nosferatu movie. I think it's genius for its day. She said she felt like was watching a Monty Python parody of Dracula. Gosh, I'm trying to remember if Bear's seen Nosferatu. What's the number of old movies back then? Yeah, again, again, you're looking at something that was made when they didn't really know all about editing and all that sort of stuff and movie making, whereas Monty Python had the fortunate ability of having all these people come before them that able to figure out movies and whatnot. So yeah, it probably looked like a sort of parody, but gosh, I have not. If Beer saw it, it's been quite a while, and Beer is coming up blank on some of the stuff. I haven't seen it in quite a while if he did. So, anyways, let me go back to this real quick. 150 pages unformatted, so I don't know how long that would be. If he's saying it's a comic and 300 pages, I'm probably inclined to be probably close to at least 200 to 250 pages if you were to put that into a script format, which we talked about before. 200 to 250 minutes, which is what, about 3 hours or so there. You're trying to put it into an animated film, which is if you're doing a film, that's hard enough. 300, 200, whatever pages, that's going to be hard enough. Trying to do it as an animated film, Beer tried many moons ago to do. It wasn't animated in any way. What we called a sort of animatic, so kind of a. If you think of maybe a storyboard, but a little bit more kind of how the in this case, movie is going to be looking and that sort of stuff. Beer did that a number of while back, and man, oh man, oh yeah, this is going to be easy. Let's just get somebody to draw. It turned into a complete nightmare. You talk about falling on your face and failing hard publicly and everything. Put Beer in that category is trying to do, not an animated film, but sort of animatic to get a film made. Man, oh man, what a complete mess there. So, yeah, again, I would say script first. Make sure you get that out, figured out, taken care of first before you do the first frame of any animation. Get that knocked out, taken care of first. I would say even if it's 150 pages formatted in a script type thing, I would say take out. about 30 to 40 pages. Probably you're thinking, what would that be? That would be about 4 scenes there, maybe 5 scenes. So probably try to find maybe 4 to 5 scenes that aren't maybe necessary, or maybe you can kind of put them together there a little bit and shorten that up. I think it's way too ambitious. Maybe make it as just like a part one. Maybe make it 60 pages, a part one or something like that. Really narrow that down, get all the sort of ideas that you want in there. He had some funny stuff in there, some good humor in there from Narwhal, but man, oh man, that seems to be quite long here. So, anyways, let's get right back into it here with the chat. Let's see. Yeah, okay, all right. So let's go ahead and get back here because, like he was saying, like Bear was saying, actually we can do. Where was it here? I can finally do it, P-Money. I can finally do it. I tell you what, I got the chat there. I still need to kind of figure out kind of the way to kind of scale it just a little bit there, but we'll make it work. We'll try, at least try to make it work. I don't know. All right, let me get out to that. Let me find the thing with the thing. Talk amongst yourselves, people. Talk amongst yourselves as Bear tries ever so hard to get the thing that he's trying to do here. All right, let me get the thing to the thing to the thing with the thing. There we go. Because we actually have more. Yes, indeed, people, more news out there. This comes from Bounding Into Comics. Good site out there. Very cool. We were talking the last time. In fact, some of the people I think maybe this article here picks it up here. We were talking a little bit last time. Sometimes Bear likes to go and check out like the trades and that sort of stuff. So he can check out what's going on in the industry. So we were checking out Deadline the last time. They were talking about the CEO of the merged together Warner Brothers Discovery. And they were talking about the issues that they have with Ezra Miller out there with The Flash, trying to get that movie off the ground. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're actually going to get it off the ground. That's a whole other topic there as well. We were talking a little bit about that last time, and it gets a little bit more into detail into this article. I tell you what, people, you don't come to the show to know what's going on. You come to the show to know what's going to go on. So, kind of in that vein there, let me get it here. Bounding Into Comics and J.B. Augustine says incoming Warner Brothers chairman will have no control over DC Films. DC Films is kind of their sort of umbrella. So I believe, let's see, it's been a while since we did this a couple weeks back. I believe it goes, obviously, Warner Brothers Discovery, and then underneath that, I think it is DC Comics and then DC Films. Although DC Films might be over DC Comics. I'm not completely sure about that, but Beer will try and correct the record when he finds that there. But these two gentlemen here, chairman will have no control over DC Films. Well, what does that mean? Well, we'll find that out in just a second. As the I cannot pronounce his name, continues to looking for its studio's own Kevin Feige, whatever, however you pronounce his name. There's the Flash right there. Despite recent hints and rumors, it seems that Warner Brothers Pictures' latest appointments, the production duo of Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdi will go with it, will not be taking control of DC Films. Well, that is kind of an important thing. They were trying to put in Zack Snyder when he did the Batman versus Superman and then later the Justice League. He was basically supposed to be in control of, the Flash movie and what was it, the Aquaman movie, and what was the other one out there? Was it Shazam? I don't know. One of those other films out there from DC. He was supposed to be kind of the creative control in addition to being the director of some of his films. Well, they took away his power. He got kicked to the curb pretty quickly. They were going to try and bring in what was it? Joss Whedon. That didn't work out very well. Um, they then kind of went through their sorts of transition period, so nobody was in control for the longest time. That way we got the terrible The Batman movie. It was supposed to be Ben Affleck, and then they put in what was his name? Patterson. I tell you. And they also had the Joker out there as well. So the Joker wasn't necessarily tied in with the other stuff, and then they went in with a complete redo with the Batman out there. So that went on its own path out there as well. So they really don't have anybody in control of what all these disparate films out there are trying to do. He says, per Variety, which we talked about the other day, DeLuca and Abdi, how do you pronounce that, are set to replace the department chairman Toby Emmerich as the chairman of Warner Brothers and New Line. But once they do, quote, they will oversee Warner Brothers and New Line, but will not have control over Warner Brothers Animation and DC Films. This is telling because the two divisions continue to be the company's bulwark for DC's content, which the new CEO of the new parent entity, Warner Brothers Discovery, considers lacking and underutilized compared to what Disney is developing through Marvel. P Money says, woohoo, I always feel important when all my chats show up on screen. And Nasser is famous now. Yes, indeed. Good to have VM here. Good to have VM. Let me grab a drink. Let's see, where was I? According to Variety, oh yeah, I already read that. To solve this, the CEO is seeking to restructure Warner Studio operations, and as part of these plans, wants a Kevin Feige type figure. Oh goodness. Oh goodness, did it go out here? What's going on here? Reconnection successful. Okay, let me just pardon me, people here. All right, come on, please work. Please work. I believe it works. I gotta wait 30 seconds to figure out if it works or not. There we go. Okay, yes, it works. All right. That's what happens when you stream out in the woods, people. Unfortunately, the new CEO, his search continues to be ongoing, and currently appears to have no end in sight. Much like a Jason Momoa out there, just no end in sight with this terrible red-headed lady. Talks were held with Emma Watts, an executive formerly of Fox and Paramount, but Variety notes they fell apart, adding insiders say that no announcement about DC's chief is imminent. That makes it sound like Walter Hamda's job is safe, which is until 2023. However, the chatter of the CEO wanting him gone persists, and Variety coverage leaves few doubts that such is the case. Still, Hamda has his supporters, many of whom tout the quality and box office performance, of such moneymakers released during his regime as the Aquaman and the Batman, especially the later effort directed by Matt Reeves as evidence that he should continue in the role. Yeah, you can tell. Oh my god. Alright. You can tell it was the Batman. They got, by the way, Bear never got to the end. There's like what do they call that? The post-credit scene of the Batman. Bear was just so quick to just hit the stop button on the ding film. All right, credits. Okay, I'm done. It's been 3.5 hours. Just hit the thing. They had a whole credit scene or a post-credit scene at the very end. They teased the Joker there, I suppose. I mean, look at this. They got the. Okay, the Joker apparently is there. Wait, I suppose, I don't know. He's out of focus. He's out of focus, people. They got the guy in the. He's perfectly lit. Perfectly lit. Not just out of focus. And then, of course, they got the Batman who's, backlit there or forelit there. No, backlit there. All this stuff, and he's in the dark. Plus, he's wearing dark clothes. Well, a dark cowl, I should say. This stupid movie. I hate this movie so much. If you can't tell that Beer doesn't like the Batman, then this should be your warning here. All right. Anyways, so I hope this doesn't continue. I just hope. Those in the president's corner are also positive regarding DC's aggressive move into multi-platforming storytelling and streaming, creating spin-off shows out of characters like the Peacemaker and the Penguin. Putting the whole James Gunn situation aside there for just a second, what's his name? John Cena? Wannabe Rock out there, for crying out loud. I mean, take what you will about The Rock. At least he's entertaining. A wannabe Rock out there. I tell you, just go to China, man. Just go to China and grovel over there. The Penguin, I don't know. He did all the other characters in the Batman were really good. I don't. Again, they have the same problem of making a Batman show without Batman. I don't know why they have holes in their heads there, but there you go. There you go. I have not seen. I probably should go check out the Joker movie, people. I should go check that out. Probably right away, I would say the Joker. I mean, hands down, have not even seen it. Just based on the trailers and the promotional material that they put out, Bear can actually see what's going on, and it's in focus. That's kind of a big thing when you're doing a movie, making sure things are in focus and properly lit. I tell you what, they actually, I mean, okay, sorry people, this is going on too long here, but this was purposeful. They purposely made that shot there. It's not like a student film where they came out and said, let's try this lens, see how it works. No, they actually went in and, that's not blurry enough. We need to make it 10% more blurry. Batman's not dark enough. We need to make him, more in the shadows there, and, especially out of focus. Hate that movie so much. So, yes, the Joker. Hands down. What was it? Batman Forever is a better Batman movie. Anyways, a better looking movie, I should say. Commenting on Emmerich's transition in the company, the CEO called him a great leader and friend to me and many, who is incredibly talented with a well-deserving reputation throughout the industry as a bold and creative visionary. Well, that sounds definitely like his days are numbered there. Damned with faint praise. Let's see. He then added that he had been, quote, talking about the best structure for Warner Brothers Pictures Group and the idea of creating 3 different film segments. I have greatly appreciated his insight and partnership throughout this process and feel confident this is the right strategy for our company going forward, said the CEO. Again, a terrible... They were supposed to be in, the Madison Square Garden or something like... the Gotham Square Garden. And, sorry, spoiler alert, people. The climax of the film is, the Gotham Square Garden there is slightly flooded. Yeah, okay. Maybe? Yeah. Terrible. Further noted by the outlet, one of the biggest challenges facing the CEO is the question of what to do with Superman. I think it's pretty obvious. As Henry Cavill is beginning to age out of the role thanks to the old guard under Emmerich, stalling on Man of Steel 2 for so long, perhaps deliberately. Well, it's really easy. You put Henry Cavill in as Superman. Who cares if he's slightly older? Oh my gosh, he's got slightly gray hair. They missed a golden opportunity there to have a Superman with a mustache, but no, they decided not to do that. So hey, maybe Superman with some gray hair, teaching the newer Justice League people how to get things done. You can maybe make it kind of like a sort of a Logan meets Superman movie. That'd be neat. Superman only has so long to live, and he's got to battle the evil Kryptonians or something like that. Very cool. That'd be kind of... Bear came up with a great Superman 2 movie in 20 seconds. I tell you what. After deciding to go in a different direction and give the reins over Big Blue to J.J. Abrams and controversial radical leftist writer Tanisha Coates. Go get my coats. They have all they have to show so far is a script draft that took the latter a year to turn in. I tell you what, if Bear can turn in his draft within 30 days, people. All you got to do is pay Bear and Salmon. And there's no traction for production, nor is a story set in stone. What do you make of Warner Brothers Discovery? Blah 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 blah. So what's going on here is basically they're trying to do. I think in the Flash movie, if Bear recalls correctly, they were trying to bring in. So let Bear kind of rewind here just a little bit for the where was he here for the Flash. Poor Ezra Miller. I tell you what, I mean, since Bear last spoke, he's got another accuser out there, accused of grooming out there. I tell you what. So they had this issue with the Flash. Basically, they were trying to figure out, okay, do we scrap the movie? Do we replace him entirely? Do we go ahead and release the film? With all the backlash out there, it was supposed to be kind of, as Bear understands it, Michael Keaton was going to be coming in, and he was supposed to be kind of a, I don't know, multiverse Batman, and he was going to be teaching the new crop of DC. I think one of them was, what was it, Batwoman or something like that. And he's going to be teaching them and that sort of deal. So they couldn't just get rid of The Flash and just kind of, the movie The Flash. They couldn't just like write that off because evidently there was a whole lot of set up within the movie for whatever is going to be coming out in the future. Well, what we have going on is we have these two guys here that are not going to have any control over DC films while they're trying to plan the future in some sort of Kevin Feige sort of situation there. So you have all these desperate films out there, but no like connecting tissue out there is kind of a sort of Marvel connection there. So really what you have going on here is a whole bunch of people not knowing what they're going to be doing their own thing, kind of like the Joker out there where it wasn't really tied in with any of the other DC movies that were coming out or anything like that. So you want to kind of have a vision for the future, but you don't have any vision for the future. You don't even actually have the person in there. So what Beer kind of looks at it as any DC movie that's going to come out in the next, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, or something like that, they're not going to be connected to whatever they're trying to do. Or if they're going to be connected, then it's going to be really tangential, very kind of, oh, well, we saw this guy in the background of one movie, and now he's the most popular character. It might work some way, I don't know, but yeah, it looks like Marvel doesn't have much competition out there with DC, just because they can't get their act together. They just, excuse me here, tried to sell Warner Brothers based on the success of the Justice League, which just didn't turn out really well, and kind of they're hanging their hat on the Batman out there, which I don't know of anybody other than the first week or two that says, hey, this is a good movie, I'll go check it out. I haven't heard anybody come back and say, oh yeah, by the way, the Batman's a really great film. It seems like it's disappeared. I don't know how much enthusiasm people have out there for the new. I don't know if they're coming out with a second one, but if they do the new The Batman 2 or whatever, I don't know. So we'll see. Maybe they'll come. I don't know, because they got the Joker in there, but then they got another movie called The Joker, and it's got two different actors in there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not being clear at all. Did you like the Batman or not? Bear has a very short video out there, and kind of explains it all. Let's see. Release the Flash movie on HBO Max and then move on. I don't think that's a great idea. I would write it off. If Beer was in charge, if Beer was the CEO, I would write it off. Hey, it was the old guard. They tried to make this stupid movie. We didn't hire the actor. I don't know nothing about him. It's Kryptonite. As far as film goes, yeah, we're just $300 million. Write it off. It was just an added $300 million to the price of merging with Warner Brothers. There, I would say write it off. Maybe the best thing that they could do maybe is just take the scenes with Michael Keaton in there, completely cut out Ezra Miller. If you have to, just replace them, but make them just tiny scenes and maybe kind of have maybe kind of a 20-minute, 30-minute kind of series, 4 or 5 different videos out there of just Michael Keaton's Batman. That might work. That might work, maybe. But no, if Bear had his druthers, he would not release that movie whatsoever. What am I doing here? Not now. What are you doing, Siri? Um, yeah, I would say either don't release the movie or totally, because they had that same problem with Justice League, trying to recut it with the mustached Henry Cavill out there. So yeah, because I don't know if you had to do scenes again with Michael Keaton, would he look like a little bit older or something like that? I would just say just completely redo it, flush that $300 million down the drain, and just totally redo it. That would be Bear's way to do it. I know there's some people that are curious out there about the movie. I'm sure it's fine, but yeah, I wouldn't want to go watch it. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right, let me grab one last drink. One last drink because people, I know we come here. I know we come here to cheer on Bear when he has an I told you so moment. Yes, indeed, Bear has the I told you so moment of the, I don't know, decade maybe? Maybe the decade from the Daily Mail out there. And Glenn Owen, the political editor for the Mail on Sunday. Just on Sunday, I guess. I guess they have somebody else cheering the rest of the week out there. The WHO chief believes that the Wu flu did leak from the Wuhan lab. What? No way. I'm sorry, sir. You have been canceled on YouTube. You are not allowed to say that, sir. You are a conspiracy theorist, sir. After a, quote, catastrophic accident, quote unquote, in 2019, despite publicly maintaining all hypotheses remain on the table. The head of the WHO, the WHO, privately believes rather, that the Wu flu pandemic started following a leak from a Chinese laboratory. A senior government source claims, well, come on out, guy. Or lady, I'm not sure. While publicly, the group maintains that all hypotheses remain on the table about the origins of the Wu flu. Get this a little bit bigger. The source said Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the Director General of the WHO, had recently confided to a European politician, I would love to know that person's name, that the most likely explanation was a catastrophic accident at the laboratory in Wuhan, where infections spread first during late 2019. Actually, there's crazy conspiracy out there that maybe it was earlier in 2019. We never know. The Mail on Sunday first revealed concerns within Western intelligence services about the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Wow. Where scientists were manipulating the Wu flu, or the coronaviruses, I should say, sampled from bats in caves nearly 1,000 miles away. Says the same caves where Wu flu is suspected to have originated in April of 2020. No, it would have been earlier than that. Maybe April of 2019. Maybe that's where they first found it. I don't know. The worldwide death toll from the Wu flu pandemic is now estimated to have hit more than $18 million. Wow. Not dollars. 18 million people, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. And there's the Bat Lady. Oh, the Bat Lady, I tell you what. It's been so long, Bat Lady. Where have you been? Where have you been, Bat Lady? I hope whatever camp or facility that you are in is treating you well out there. Yes, indeed. Please do look up the Bat Lady. Very interesting stuff there. Let's see. P Money says, so how long before social media apologized for everyone they suspended for mentioning the leak? I'm guessing either never or never. Well, we'll see if Bear still has his channel. Again, we're just reporting. Bear was reporting on this a long time back, and you weren't allowed to say that. Now they're allowed to say that. Go figure. The WHO was initially criticized for its deferential approach to China over the pandemic, as well as listen. If the WHO was as aggressive in the beginning as, say, maybe, I don't know, California or New York is now, with the Wu flu out there, I think we would have had a better chance at it. Maybe. I don't know. As well as willingness to accept Beijing's protestations that a claim of a laboratory leak was just a crazy conspiracy theory. However, in absence of any compelling evidence of a zootronic spread, the process which a virus leaps from animals to humans is now adopting a more neutral public stance. Dr. Tedros updated member states on the pandemic this month, admitting we do not yet have the answers as to where it came from. I could tell you where it came from, or how it entered the human population. Well, obviously that person was eating a bat, and somehow, they went to the wet market, they ate the bat, question mark, profit slash pandemic. There you go. Understanding the origin of virus is very important scientifically to prevent future epidemics and pandemics. Well, all we got to do is come up with patient zero. Pretty easy. But morally, we also owe it to all those who have suffered and died, and their families. The longer it takes, the harder it becomes. We need to speed up and act with a sense of urgency. Do you feel that urgency? A beer doesn't. All hypotheses must remain on the table until we have evidence. Do you think maybe when they completely bulldozed and sanitized that wet market where it supposedly came from, maybe they didn't get that evidence that they were looking for? Maybe. Or maybe they were trying to cover it up. Crazy conspiracy theory. That enable us to rule certain hypotheses in route. This makes it all the more urgent that this scientific work be kept separate from politics. Yes, indeed. Follow the science, people. The way to prevent politicization is for countries to share data and samples with transparency and without interference from any government. So, you're directing that to China, right? We're directing that to China, right? The only way the scientific work can progress successfully is with full collaboration from all countries, including China, where the first cases of the Wu flu were reported. And it goes on. No biggie. The Wuhan lab, it's just got missing seals and whatnot. No biggie. Last year, the WHO established the Scientific Advisory Group for the Origins of the Novel Pathogens, or SAGO, to outline which studies would be needed to identify. Holy cow! Okay, we're 2 years into this. So now they're going to establish a group to outline which study would be needed to create a global framework for studying the origins and figuring it out. We're not even looking for it, people. We're not even looking. We're just setting up a group to maybe think about looking for it. 2 years on. The WHO. An original probe into the outbreak by the WHO was resisted fiercely by China, and I would say completely accepted by the WHO. You're resisting. What can we do? What can we do? Thanks for all the money. Leading to a report that concluded that the Wu flu virus probably passed to humans from a bat via other unidentified species. I believe it was a penguin. No, not a penguin. A pangolin. Whatever. They were eating bats and then dipping it into the pangolin sauce and then eating it there. Listen, people, that's not a conspiracy theory. That is how we're told that the Wu flu came about, was people were eating bats. There we go. That's got to be how it is, right? But after 14 nations, including the UK, US, and Australia, criticized its findings as being heavily compromised, Dr. Tedros admitted the report's flaws and ordered the new process. Well, good thing that they got to clean up all that evidence. Who me? The government has taken a cautious approach to appropriating blame for the Wu flu, something that China skeptics attribute to a fear of offending Beijing. Oh, well, gosh, I'm sorry that 13 million people died. Let's see, we should just not. I hate to offend. I hate to offend the people over there, especially Winnie the Pooh over there. I really hate to offend that person. I really hate it. We couldn't do that. However, American intelligence has placed the secretive Wuhan laboratory at the center of the century of its analysis, rather. Former U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo claimed that workers at the institute had fallen ill with Wu flu-like symptoms in autumn of 2019. Yeah, maybe even earlier than that. Crazy conspiracy theory. Weeks before the alarm was raised, and said that as part of military projects, its scientists were experimenting with a bat coronavirus very similar, just very similar, to the one that caused the Wu flu, which is why we call it the Wu flu. A WHO spokesman said that Dr. Tedros has been consistently saying that all hypotheses remain on the table unless you think that it came from the Wuhan virus. What was it? The Wuhan, what was it called? Whatever. The lab there in Wuhan, that's crazy talk. And you should be banned from public speaking and canceled from public life. Canceled from public life. All hypotheses remain on the table. My butt. Where is he? My butt, sir. Bear's butt. I tell you. Anyways, a little bit of kind of once again where we talk about you don't really come to the show to know what's going on. You come to the show to know what's going to go on. Yes, indeed. So there we go. There we are. Let me get to the thing. Help out a little bit of P money here with a little bit of a picture of the returning champions and hopefully continued champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Peabody asks, how long does it take to figure out if it was a market or a lab it came from? Well, it would have been nice for old Dr. T over here to, say, hey, if you're claiming that it's coming from the wet market, why don't we go down there and go check it out? And as soon as they said, hey, let's maybe think about possibly checking it out, they completely bulldozed it and sanitized it. I mean, just completely. If you were a bank robber or something like that, you came back to the crime scene and started to destroy evidence and get rid of people, would that point to your innocence or maybe to your guilt? When you're locking up doctors that's saying, hey, there's this crazy virus out there and we think it came from this one place, and you're locking them up and you never hear from them ever again, you might have just a little bit to hide there. Just a little bit. Just a little bit there. The best way to figure it out, and I hate to say it, but let loose the lawyers out there. I think there's already one. I think it was out of Florida, if I'm not mistaken. They were going to sue China there. So I tell you what, get all those 13 million people and get them up in a class action lawsuit and just sue the bejesus out of China. Just instead of saying, oh, we don't want to offend Beijing, we say we are going to bankrupt Beijing. We are going to now own Beijing. Beijing, your capital city, belongs to us now. Yes, indeed. So there you go. That's the way that Bear would do it. But of course, not listened to on his pandemic advice, not listened to on his movie advice out there. So go figure. Go figure indeed. All right. Well, I tell you what, people, all this talk about viruses and everything, it's me. Well, let's go through it one real quick here. We were talking about, of course, the Wu flu lab leak, the crazy turmoil out of DC. I probably, until we hear that somebody's actually taking over as the head spot, I think it's going to be very disparate stuff. You might have a Joker movie come out, and you might have the Batman movie come out, and they're not linked at all. They have nothing to do with each other. So I don't know what they're doing over there at Warner Brothers, but I don't know. Whatever. Hopefully cleaning house. Oh, we talked a little bit about Alterna. Go check out Gary Shipman's Titan out there, people. He could use your help. Dracula looks to be pretty good from Sweetcast. And of course, the new Narwhal book coming out, I think he said in Was it August? I think he said in August. Might have been September there. Very cool indeed. So once again, people, you know what? All this talk has made Bear hungry. So he's gonna head back into the woods. So until next time, people. Grrrr.